have never happened. I listened, then questioned out loud, "Who are these people? Where can I find them? Is there anyone out there who would be willing to guide me? If I'm ever going to become the person I want to be, I need to find someone, or several people, who will help me." Thus, my journey began. This is my story. You will learn from my mentors who taught me how to take control and improve my situation. The lessons will stimulate your thoughts, provide practical tools, and inspire you to become the person you want to be, just like they helped me. Enjoy the journey. Jack's Lessons. 1. Blast past tough. I began looking for mentors to share their experiences with me. I wanted to learn how they had accomplished their goals. I also wanted to know what they'd done that was different from what I was doing. I started my search by asking my friends, neighbors, and work associates, "Who is a successful person you know who may be willing to talk to me?" Several people were suggested, but a guy named Vince Garrett was consistently mentioned. Vince was the CEO of a regional hospital network. He was one of the most respected people in town and was also known as one of the most philanthropic. I debated, should I call a stranger and ask for advice? My pride said no, but my internal voice of reason said why not? I had nothing to lose. After I made the decision to reach out to Vince, it was a couple of weeks before I mustered the courage to actually make the call. At last, I felt the timing was right for me to take a risk and phone him. Vince and I exchanged several messages before we connected. When I finally spoke to him, I was so nervous that I had to keep referring to the notes I'd written for myself. I briefly explained my situation and told him I was willing to do whatever was necessary to move forward to become the person I wanted to be. Vince listened to my request and asked a few questions. After pondering for a few minutes and checking his calendar, he graciously agreed to meet with me the following Monday morning. On Monday, I left my home for the 30-minute drive to Vince's office. On the way, I was frustrated with myself that I had to ask for help. "This is humiliating," I muttered under my breath. "I'm just wasting my time, and Vince's time." Frankly, I was somewhat cynical about whether meeting with Vince would change anything. For several minutes, I chastised myself and considered turning my car around to head back home. But I soon calmed down and realized that this meeting was probably necessary. I was stuck and needed help. I arrived at Vince's office and was led to a small private meeting room where he was completing a draft of a speech he was scheduled to deliver later that week. He immediately closed his laptop and welcomed me. Vince's voice was soft, but his tone was firm. His smile was so broad that I couldn't help but feel at ease, and his eyes were focused intently on me. My initial impression of him was that he was a kind, compassionate, and successful person. Before taking our seats at a small round table, Vince asked if I would like a cup of coffee. I poured my coffee into the cup and then accidentally overloaded it with sugar and cream, filling it to the brim. Embarrassed and feeling foolish, I carefully drank the thick, tan mix as quickly as I could get it down. We spent a few minutes in ice-breaking conversation and laughing about the coffee mishap. Then, Vince loosened his tie, which hung from a perfect half-Windsor knot over a neatly pressed shirt, and asked, "How can I help?" "Thanks for meeting with me," I said, then paused to clear my throat. "You were recommended by several people as someone who may be willing to share the story behind your success. I'm hoping that you will provide me some words of wisdom or principles that guided you in your life and career. As I mentioned on the phone, I'm struggling pretty bad right now. I feel like I'm stuck and can't seem to find my way out on my own. I'm searching for people who I can learn from and begin moving forward again. I called you because I want to learn from you." Vince took a sip of coffee from his mug and smiled before responding. "First, thank you for asking my opinion. I can definitely relate to your situation because I have been exactly where you are right now. It took courage for you to call. Many people will make a decision to do something to improve their situation, but then fail to do anything about it. Making a decision without taking action is worthless. I'm glad my name was given to you and you made the call."